Bless you. Mm. Hi. Bless you. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hold on. We were going to have an intro, but it's not going to happen. Well, isn't that interesting? No big deal. We'll start where we are. Mental, mental, mental. Going mental. What does it mean to go mental? Let's talk about mental health, mental thought. And as we wait for people to come in the room, give yourself a chance to participate. Talk to me about going mental. So even though I wrote my PhD in what is reality, I feel like I need to write another paper to, how do you want to say? I write another paper so that I can introduce to the world, in my world, about more information about what does it go to go mental? What is mental? What causes us to be happy one second and throw in a mental the next? Or you are fine, you're happy, and everything's good, and all of a sudden, boom, you can't stop the hyperfocus, going mental. And part of my job is to help people to move the energy in their body so it can help their brain become balanced, their energies help their bodies to become balanced. Hi, how are you? Glad you could be here. We're going to talk about what is mental. How do people go mental? Um, what can you do about it? And well, so I have these clients, okay, and what I've gathered is, so they'll be coming to me and they'll say, I'm really worried. I really want to talk to this person. I really want them back. I have rights. I have this. I've got this. And so what are they doing? They're hyper focusing on what they don't have and what they want. What they did have, they had a parameter, they had it, so they have memories, and now they don't. And so there's this loss and this identity, this stuff that was shared, this who you are is not there anymore. And so you turn to the people that, took it away, whether somebody left you or somebody died or somebody I think something's wrong with you. So they're like, yeah, you're banned. But you're like, yeah, but you're family, you're this, you're that. You should be. You should be. So give me 1 second here. You should be, and this is where it is found in when you look at the body in the spleen meridian. I expected you to be there for me, and you are not. So take that in just for a moment when you think about how you should have been there for me. How, but you're not. Now, I don't know if I'm live or not, but we're going to find out in just a second. My little thing's not showing it. Ah, there I am. Good. And this energy, this feeling. So remember, you had memories, you have memories, you had the experience that creates this parameter. You spent experience and time to build a bond, identity, a relationship. And where is it? And you're willing to fight, you're willing to get it back, you're willing. Let's say it's about your kids, let's say it's about your family or grandkids, or it's but you are supposed to. No, they don't have to. You're not supposed to. It's not about that. So what's it about? So when a person is focused, they have a lot of hurt. And if they carry in their body and the spleen meridian, these meridians carry your stories, especially the ones that are unresolved continued stories. Okay. So we're talking about mental. And when you're mentally saying, they should have been there for me. They should let me do this. I have all rights to my kids, or all rights to my grandkids, or all rights to, um, and or I want that person back, and they don't seem to love me. What's wrong? What's wrong with me? You start to question that there may be something wrong with you, or you might want, and then they're saying, let's say you forgot. So now time has gone by and you're changed. You changed. You're not taking that drug, you're not taking and doing that behavior. You're not seeing this person. You change yourself by, they said, let's say somebody said it was this person, or this is fault, that drug, that, you know, and you're like, but I really want this, so I will change. That's not the change I'm looking for. That's not the change they're looking for. So you can't just say, I'm sorry, and not change your behavior. But you can't change it for others because it's just going to show. So past hurts can lead to mental distress. So if you are changing, but you're harping and you're brooding on this pain that they did this to you, even though you may have them back, you're going to show the very thing that made them want to leave in the first place. They can't take it anymore. Hi. So think about it. It's mental. Now, I'm not calling the person mental. I'm not calling what that happened in their life didn't happen. I'm talking about, how do you in your body take charge of the mental thoughts? How do you stop the thoughts that run through your head? Well, first of all, you got to understand what causes the thoughts. Yeah, you have an experience and you can't process. One, experience. Two, I can't process. Three, what mindset are you using to process the pain? Now, with all my research, no matter how old you are, you had that experience, and those types of thoughts, whether you had them yourself or the people in your space were vibrating and saying and acting, monkey see, monkey do. And when you hear and notice this, that's your gift, is that you have to become aware of your behavior, of what you're saying. But let's say you do, and you've done everything to change it and nothing works, but you didn't change the vibration. You didn't change the frequency. You didn't change the way you memorized how to show up, how you react. You did not realize that you had memorized that you have this automatic knee-jerk reaction. You're getting this, right? So the first 7 years of your life, what you've been exposed to, what you experience, you don't just have these emotional things. You also observe, mimic, borrow, and become how to behave. So how did your parents behave? How did your siblings behave? How did the community, the church, or the people that you're, oh, I really like them, how did they behave? And then you're looking at what you lost. You're looking at what you lost. So how are you supposed to wake up from this? How do you, that's the matrix. That's the matrix. That this particular matrix you need to wake up from. Do you understand? Oh, wonderful. So someone's paid to have a chat. That's good. I will put that down. So let's say you had the experience. You learned that, oh my God, this is how you have responded and reacted automatically. Where did it come from? And you're like, but I didn't know I did. See, and if you become aware of your behavior and your actions, that's good. Now you just need to heal it. But let's say you just know that you're in pain and suffering. So we have this one client that beautiful soul and has gone through so much. I mean, mentally, physically, everything, you name it. And they have this gift of being so hyper focused. This is your gift as well, but this person has perfected the focus. And so the hyper focus is when you over focus, when you over focus with matter. Well, if something, and if you ask, how long ago did this happen? And let's say they said years ago. And you're like, that happened years ago, and the pain is still bothering you. And then when you hear the story, you're like, oh, that makes sense, right? Or, okay, it's time to move on. You hear advice, you hear drop it, you hear, but you can't. I mean, it's easy for that person that's telling it to drop it. Have you been in that situation? Why can't that person drop it? Why can't that person process this to get back to joy and peace? Because they had processed it. They processed it with their thoughts and their emotions and the negative emotions, and this is what they came up with. Hi. But is that healthy process? And did it process to get the results back to peace? Maybe temporarily. Maybe temporarily. So people come to me and they're like, okay, they'll forget that I'm a healer. They'll know that I'm have these abilities where I can read, and they'll ask me about this person, or they'll ask me about the situation. And I will not invade anybody's space, but I will tell you what's in your field. I'll tell you how you did anything is how you do everything. I will tell you what you haven't processed but shows up as pain and suffering. I can even see the cores to what ages. I can go in and into the story that is being projected, and I can like see the particular emotions, the frequencies that are bumping up against each other, and so I look, and so I was helping someone, and we used the a new healing tool called pH. I don't know if that's the actual word I want, because it's now got a two-parter to this healing tool. And so we do it, and it's like you have to know the before. So the before was and it's a big fat 10 billion, and so I'm having them tap, and I'm having them use their magnetic and energy, or use a magnet, and to help change the magnetic flow so the electrical currents can connect. We balanced the brain, we zipped up, we did kicked energies out, and all of a sudden it was like, oh God, I feel good. And you make them sit and just say, okay, can you witness this? Can you become aware of how you're feeling, how the feelings are controlling your thoughts? And yeah, I feel really good. I feel really good. Now, and then within 2 seconds, because you have a continuous flow of thoughts, the GPS reset itself. So they got themselves back. They did it themselves. I said, just do this, only if you want to. And they're like, sure, I'll do it. And their partner did it too. And both of them were like, whoa, it felt like it's processed. I said, it's not processed. It's just that you have learned how to use your body to get yourself out of a mental, bombarded with all those thoughts, and it helps control the emotions. This is how you're meant to be, and how you are to process these things. And then the partner immediately went back into because they had the next thought. Now, that next thought is what is, you know how a GPS works, right? You can have thousands of instructions, but you choose one to focus on and then aim. If you want to add something in between, that's fine. Or add something at the end, that's fine. But the point is it's going to hyper focus on the direction, the set of instructions. And so they're like, oh yeah, so I'm teaching how to use your gift of awareness. And then all of a sudden they remembered that they're lost and they don't have, and but that's not actually what sparked. What sparked was, I've changed, and they refuse to see it. And it's like, well, what are they supposed to see? That I've changed. But now they have it on camera. They have a video that they can see what it is they have to work on, because it was, and it was like 2 seconds. This is, what did you just think? Because she felt, he felt, the couple felt. I don't remember who spoke first, but then and I'm not even sure if they spoke, but there was this agreement that they both understand their reality that they have and they don't have. Now, with the don't have is set in the GPS. So why would that even be set in the GPS? Because it's a need. What do you mean a need? A need to be loved, a need that you expected them to be there for you and they're not. There is this part of you when you're a child, you have all of these needs to stay dry instead of being in a wet diaper, need for love and comfort, a warm home, safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, the freedom to be. And any of these get threatened in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can't get to self-actualization. You can't get to spiritual awareness. You can't get to the goal you want until you get your needs met. And part of the need was to be accepted and loved, and it's not there. So you provide it for yourself. You go out and find a mate, or you find friends that help provide what you couldn't get. You start to provide what you couldn't get as you start to get older. Now, that sounds fine and dandy, but what can stop it? Traumas, experiences that are you're not able to process. I can't process this. So you learn to cope, handle, deal, pacify, manage with external things, or to press it down, or to overcome. But the root is going to pop up and get into that GPS, and you're going to have to keep following that until it's resolved. The emotions, and we have to work backwards. And so as we started to clear the one emotion, then all of a sudden another would pop. And so we cleared that emotion, and it was all of how you covered up to take care of the pain and the suffering. Because dang it, when you love someone and they don't love you back, or when you know, like I'm a mother, and if my kids chose not to talk to me ever again, you know, that's going to crush you. Or if you lose somebody that you love and they die, that can destroy your world. So experiences, that's all I'm saying. But if we cannot process from a soul level, if we can't process like naturally without drugs, if we can't process, then these emotions begin to always stay in our cells. They begin to control and change our DNA, these emotions. But aren't just emotions and poof, they're gone? No, because emotions are the key that's locked into our cell. And so here is a cell, and you got 50 billion, 50 is it 50 billion? Yeah, 50 billion cells that make up you. And you get your personality, depending on which one you're using, the one that's 500 and above, or is it the pain and suffering, which is below 500? Like you're used to feeling shame or you're used to giving shame. You're going to operate at 20 or 30. That's a big difference. So that identity, so that's part of the GPS. And your cells will, you get to decide with that experience how you're going to internalize and what is the representation of when somebody gave you a look. Okay, so you got the definition, you have looked, you've over identified, you said that was painful. What are they thinking about me? Because you got the RTJP that thinks what other people think. But if it's controlled by the underdeveloped you, meaning you are ego and the mindset is of the past, and you cannot create anything new with the mindset that created it. Okay, so you can't create you cannot create greater than the experience, the knowledge you have. But you can't get out of that until you learn to break that up and move and see something different. So the cells are waiting for emotions, drugs, whatever, neuropeptides, whatever it is. So if you had an experience of loss, it's going to be painful, right? You're going to cry, you're going to have grief, you're going to, and it depends on how they don't do it. So then how do you know how to feel? How do you feel? So if you don't have the chemical peptide to go in and lock it, you don't feel. You may be disassociated, you may, or just be an echo of yourself. You may be high on drugs so that you don't have to feel. So a lot of people don't want to feel. So part of my process of having you hold your head is you sit with the feel it to heal it. So the cells are waiting for you to decide what was that, give it a definition, and you're going to feel. And so once you feel, you'll lock into the cell. And in this case, it was buried under years of trying to process. And so you'll lock it in. And, so one of the emotions that is not an emotion, but yet you can feel it and understand it, is that I expected them to be there for me. And they weren't. And it's a special kind of hurt. And so then all of a sudden the cell starts to vibrate. It tells the rest of the community, you're one big community. And all of a sudden you're sitting there, you're happy, you're chatting away. All of a sudden you feel. You may not hear the words, but you feel, and you break down that individuality. I expected them to be there for me. And all of a sudden you feel your energies of your body, like your chakras of going, oh my God, my needs not met. And so then you start to feel a little bit more, and then your the emotions create pictures, and then your pictures, and then you have talk, and you have, and and your self-esteem and confidence starts taking a dump, and your body whole time's vibrating like this. And people say, well, just take care of the vagus nerve, take care of this, take care of that. You can't just take care of it. People say, shake, move, rattle, and roll. But to feel it, the type of feeling I'm referring to is, I don't want you to go to conclusions. I want your body and you to go, I'm going to address this. I'm going to go to that particular age, and I'm going to communicate with my body in such a way, with my brain in such a way, I'm going to bring the blood back up to my brain to get out of stress, but I'm going to feel. And how do you know to feel? And what are you feeling? They hurt my feelings, right? Don't be in your face, just stop. You're going to go, damn, it sits right there, and it's this big, and it's that color, and it's the thing that grew, because when the pain hurt, I can't believe it. When it hurt, you're like, I can't process this. When you hurt and you focus on it, it starts to pull you away from your source, your heart, your God. And you start to disconnect from your higher self, your Holy Spirit. You start to disconnect even further. And as you do, it constricts, and Spirit's going, I love you. And you're like, But this pain, this pain, this pain. And then that emotional pain starts creating physical pain, physical pain, physical pain. And as I have you hold, I want you to just stare at it. And most generally, you're going to go, yeah, it's right there. I don't want to look at it. It's right there in my face. It hasn't became the past. And just by allowing yourself to be present and holding it. Now, some people say, but I came to you and I just want to talk. That's fine, but you're talking negative. And all you're doing is firing and wiring and firing and wiring, creating the groove that was already there to go deeper and deeper. And it makes your brain worse. Well, I don't want to feel. And then you come to me and you say, I have these aches, I have these pains. And I say, okay, well, we got to see what's the driver. We need to see the thoughts. We need to see what you couldn't process. And we can't just go to it because you've created safety barriers, safety barriers, safety barriers. And you can't just go to the root. Some people just say, rip it out. And then as I'm helping a person and I give them the answer and I help them, they'll look at it and go, oh, yeah, well, no, I want to work on this. Or you can't understand it. There's no wisdom. There's no experience. There's not, you don't get, you're not making those connections. So you can't pull it out. So the only place that you and your soul is willing to start is whatever is on the surface, because those safety barriers will not let you get to the root. I have people that come and tell me and say, oh, it don't work because now I'm mad again. Oh, I'm not, it doesn't hold on. You will have all the ways of knowing how to feel. I'm helping you to understand that the cells can release these. But if you reinstall it, you haven't healed the next part. Why did you have to reinstall? What is the mental? What is this? What are you? 1 minute you're happy, and the next minute you're back into it. And you instantly, your gift of awareness, you have mastered it into the ego, and you created a mindset, and it's negative and it's hurting you. You want, my needs aren't met. It's their fault. Okay, regardless if it's their fault, it's your responsibility to learn in this day and age that you need to take control of this. And I've had people go, no, I want to be mad. They need to pay. What? Okay, but that's, I forgive them. No, you have not. No, you have not. And you have to decide which mindset you want. So people say, well, I'm connected to my higher self. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And the next breath, condemn, curse, blame, defame. No, you can't serve two masters. You can say you're doing something, but if the root is still pulling you in hell to create this, then you are not in charge. So I'll teach people to stop. And you can be in your ego, but you can begin to hear it through your ego, because you're not going to give up that control. What did you just think? They don't like me. Awesome. Great job. Write down. They don't like me. Okay. Now, how much is that true? Well, it's true. They don't. Okay, great. What's your reaction to it? What do you mean? Well, I don't care what they think. And then in the next breath, I can't believe they did that to me. I don't know why they don't like me. Blah, blah, blah. Stop. Are you aware that you're focusing on the thing you said you don't care? Well, okay, yeah, it bothers me. Okay, now you've heard in different circles. I don't know why this TikTok over here is upset, because it keeps saying it's not working, but I may have to close and start it again. What's not working is that to wake you up to help you get to be your higher self, to become a spiritual human, to learn how to operate this physical body, mental, emotional, and start to develop spiritual values, healthy spiritual values. It is to stop in the middle. You're the mind. Your spirit, your soul is the mind. And you need to know where you're investing. And if you're saying, they don't like me, the intensity, is it love or is that pain? And when you're like, well, of course it's pain. Why would I? Okay, you just agreed and accepted and gave your life force to taking this wave of an opportunity and turned it into a particle called your reality. Now, it has your life force, so it's got your attention. But how do you get your life force off it? How do you get it to be back into a wave? How do you get the wisdom that's locked in this particle and that keeps you capped from being love and above to vibrate higher than 500? Anybody? You heal it out. Okay, it's working on your end. Okay. So I had a lot of things. I had a lot of things that happened to me. I have had relationships with, bonding with people, acquaintances. And no matter the gender of communicating or trying to make a friend or reaching out, was my confidence, did I have any? Where's my self esteem? Did I get my needs met or am I sitting in my pain? What am I doing? So I want you to wake up and I want you to start to notice that you have needs. Where is your mindset? Is it on pain and suffering? Is it on, where are you focused? And so I'm watching people, and like I say, this one client was happy, and then all of a sudden they're like, and it was mad. And I said, at who? About what? And I said, do you understand that the first hour you were saying that you've changed and you love and you're telling me all these good things about yourself, and you just revealed to yourself that you're stuck at a point in time that is so painful. That's what you haven't resolved. You cannot process this. And no matter how much you try this, and this to overcome, to be strong, to take your money and build this, or eat this, or you do this to prove to somebody that you've changed. In the end, the program that probably caused you to lose them will rear its ugly head and start biting because they're hurt or they need to bite back or they need to, because see, you can show the world you're good, but inside when you're alone, you're not going, you want to be the hero, but you also want need to defeat. You need, so you maybe you didn't have a voice, maybe you didn't. So the question then becomes, do you know yourself? Do you? You have to listen to the words you're saying to yourself. You can gather the wisdom. Yes. But you may not be aware. And that's what we're going to teach you. It doesn't matter if you're in higher self or ego. If you can become aware of these words, you're like a light bulb come on. Not ego, but in spirit. You're going, I just agreed, and accepted and gave my willpower away? How did you agree? Yeah, it happened. You accepted. I can't do anything about it because it's already done. It's a past. It's a memory. And I did not give my willpower away. Yes, you did. The moment you took your focus and you said it hurt, you labeled it an emotion. It's up to you to decide how you want to mentally go from there. And it's hard once you start to groove and make these deep grooves in your brain of firing and wiring. And this is why anxiety and depression take time to heal. It's not a one night, one time shower, one and done. You need to get in there and you need to start to build this relationship with yourself. The higher self can be connected to, be brought through, to become. So you live it, breathe the walk, the talk, the dream, and imagine with this higher self. And as you embody it, you get to see these frequencies, these energies without having to lose power. You can say, I see it. I'm not accepting it as mine. I'm accepting that it's there. And I'm not denying it. I see it's an opportunity out of billions and billions and billions and endless from the quantum field. I see it. And even if it happened to me, I don't have to keep giving it my willpower. So how do you heal without accepting, agreeing, giving it your willpower? Is that when you start to heal and you use the body, the chemical peptide unlocks itself and the cell goes, oof, and a new cell, a new peptide comes in and goes, ah, peace. I want this versus this. And you then train yourself that when you start to go there again, you're like, wow, no, I'm done. And you go and you heal. And you get yourself back from to, and you can feel it. It's not in your face, but it's there. And you don't want revenge. And you keep healing different emotions. You change different belief systems. And all of a sudden, it's like when you're doing these healing tools, EFT, any of the hope, 6 hope therapy, any of these, you got a statement and you heal, and all of a sudden that statement that's written in stone starts to crumble, and a new statement, one word can change that statement, and you don't believe that way, and why is that belief not as strong as it should be, or it was, and do I really want it to be? No, I like this better. So you have to use your awareness again. You have to keep using your awareness, and you get down to calmness and use your awareness. And when I started out, I'd be like, oh, that feels good, and then I'd get up, walk out, and all of a sudden there would be a fight, whoever I was with. They didn't like something, or I didn't do it on time. And it's like, what? And I'm back into the game of the mental corrosion. Like when I started to bring my gift with my spirit going, I'm losing power, or they're taking power, or why am I believing this? That's the fun one. Why am I believing this? Why do I have to? I don't. And when you start to stop engaging, stop believing, and even if you're like, yeah, I don't believe it, and yet you're hurt and you are believing, the cord's still there. But when you start to heal these and you engage in like, oh, why did I project this? Why is my inner world creating this? I'm not okay. So I pass a test. I'm not reacting, but now I'm seeing. What is it I need to see? Thank you, Spirit. And you're not going outside to get your needs met. You're going in and notice that your body is saying your needs are met. Look at where you lost power. So when you have the chaos and the drama and it comes in your face and you're like, ah! Your soul, if you could stop, and your soul says, can you heal it now? And you're like, what? Oh, what, this? Yeah, can you heal it? well, how do you want me to heal it? Well, do this, do the you're like, what? But you got to measure it because now you can see it, you can measure it. And once you can see it and you use the tools, and you really don't want to keep it for revenge or to keep yourself in the pain, you begin to develop this way of seeing through your spirit. And it will be seeing it through rings out, and you're like, oh, and you can almost start predicting by watching your pattern. Well, I don't need to really respond that way, but I do, and I did. Well, I'm going to cancel, clear, delete, call my power back. I'm going to get into all of this. I want you to become a spiritual human. I want you to have that gift. I want you to realize that you can be in your spiritual mindset, but you got to build it because you're so used to this, you can't see that you are consciousness, that you are love, and that you're over identifying with matter. And as soon as you use tools to take the emotional chemical peptide off and you're taking the mask off and you're going, I don't want that. Now it's going to keep repeating until you get rid of all of the hooks and the little things that grab your attention. Okay. So you're doing accumulation healing. You're doing a retraining the nerves. You're supporting it, but you may have to support it with proper nutrients like amino acids and B vitamins and exercise. We can't forget how those help, especially hormones like estrogen. There's more we could talk about, but what did I say? What did Spirit want you to know? That you have a gift of awareness. And an ego, oh, I am aware they don't like me. That's not what I meant. But if you can stand back and notice that you are angry and you just pointed fingers, your gift of awareness is, I just lost power. And it isn't about blaming and hyper focusing. You're just going to go, I did it again. So you change the accountability. You change that it's not about defaming anybody, blaming anybody. And I'm not saying they didn't do that to you. I'm saying, so what? Rise, take your power back, stop agreeing, stop accepting, and stop giving away your willpower. And when you start to get that back and you get tested, you're going, yeah, no. And you keep getting, and all of a sudden the test is, oh, you passed because it stops. The pattern, the behavior, all of it stops. Be aware of the present moment and how you feel and heal it. Autumn, you have grown so much and so proud of you. Good on you. Amy says, the more I heal, the more I'm in my cup of peace. Yes. And when you realize that your spirit and you've created this human form and to experience life, there's no shame in it. We chose. It was a gift. But now your gift is awareness to say, whoa, should I take this physical life force and invest it into something that hurts? You mean I don't have to? You're probably gonna because you're looking at all the things to resolve that way. So I'll be with people and they'll respond this way, and I'm like, huh, that's a perspective. I know I'm not doing it. Where some people are like, well, they should have done it this way. No, 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 no. Get yourself out of that. And then all of a sudden you get to see how you respond, and you're like, but where did I learn that? And do I want to keep doing it? Language, question it differently. You have a gift. It's time to begin to master this so it doesn't become a curse. I used to be in such mental and emotional shit shows. I was so depressed. I could tell you everything that's happened to me and point to the finger and say it's because of them. But that's not true anymore. On a soul level, those people that want to wake, hi, those people that want to wake, you can do something different. And it's all about how you change your focus. It's all about how you allow yourself to step into becoming your spiritual self. Okay. Hopefully you got something out of this. And if you are new here and I've never read you, I will give you a free reading. But this is about, where are you losing power? Why is life showing up this way? And what I can do about it, because we were taught for so long that there's nothing we can do about feeling this way, or that life's turning out this way. No, there's a lot you can do. A lot. So here's your opportunity that you can get a read. And because you're the first time, I will even give you a point to hold so that you can use the body. And each of these tools that I have build on one or the other. And, it's great. It's great. I'm trying to figure out what that. I took that down. That's what I took down. I see. Somebody said, what is that? It's my hope sign I had up there. Could probably put it here. I don't know. We'll see. Now we have TP. TP's in the room. She got a PIF, a pay it forward. So April has sent money and says, pay it forward to Teresa. And Teresa says that, yes, I appreciate the gift. Thank you. And I would like to address that I have a lot of tension, a lot of pain up in this area. So we're going to give Teresa, and if she's here, then we can chat with her a little bit here. And we can help her. Now, there's a metaphysical meaning to why she has pain. And if we were to, oh, that's not it. What'd you do with it, Brenda? I don't know. Well, that's just beautiful. We don't need it anyway. I was creating with it and I must have left it in the other room, but that's okay. So I'm looking at the tension and I'm looking at the meridian that's causing a lot of the tension in the shoulders, and it's the bladder meridian. And the bladder meridian begins here, comes up and around, and then it goes from 2 to 4 down the back, around the leg, and then go back down to 2, one for each leg, off the baby toe. So now you imagine these are like pulleys, pulling one way or the other. And the bladder meridian says that the way you process life is that you build false realities. It's because of this, it's that. It's a way you protect yourself. They're saying you had to do that at around age 7 when you feel that your needs weren't met. But now that you've been growing and doing things, and I said, so is the outside what's causing the tension? And they said it is the inside. So it's you. It's your thoughts, it's your thinking, it's the way you look at things, it's the picture you've created. So I said, tell me more about this. And they said, it's a very habitual, the exertion of my power, but I don't actually do it. I'm like, so let's say, and I'm just going to ask Spirit if this is correct. So you're saying inside, so something's happened and you imagine that your superhero strength and you've conquered it and you've done it. But you physically haven't, but you have in your mind. Yes. So Teresa, have you been thinking about how you're doing things and you're imagining it, and the body needs to physically move? And then when you go to physically move, you can't do the very thing that you were thinking of. Does that make sense? Okay. So in one, you have so much on your shoulders of responsibilities about what you need to do. And some of it you're meant to look, but some of it is just, there's like too much worry. So when I'm looking at the bladder, they say that the reason why that's tense is because, have you had an encounter recently where you have to say, you have to express yourself, or you have to tell somebody your side, and it has to do with the expanded importance of self. So you have to, like, you know, I have to explain my side of the story. I've got to justify to you so that I can, however it is, I feel like something's going on, but there's a part of you that is holding back. Yes and yes. Okay. And but in your head, so where the first thing you're going to write down is L3D. Okay. You have over identified with feeling small. And so now that you're in this position and you need to communicate and you need to talk, you can't, because the identity of feeling small is overriding your ability. And so your body's saying, I have to contract. I have to hold myself down. I have to hold myself back. Well, there's the other party that says, no, I'm moving forward. I'm doing this. So you have a conflict going on. Does this make sense? There's a conflict. So after you do that, you're going to, after you start feeling this, you're going to go L3D so that you can look at the weakness, because it's like, let's say you're lifting weights and, whoo, this is a light weight. And then you put more weight on, and then all of a sudden it's a struggle. And you're like, God, I'm weak, which means they say you go in your head, the results haven't changed. So you're going in your head and you are gaslighting yourself. And so there's a lot of negativity. So then you're going to do L2D. L2D has a lot to do with, without you, I can't. So all the years that you had, you always could, because let's say your mom was there. But now you can't because they're not there. So there is this limited belief that stems all the way back to simply could be this. I'm not saying it is. You can't cross that road without me. So you get to the road. The program is, I can't cross it until they are with me. Now you're older, they are gone, and you come to the road. You're going to force yourself, but the body says, I can't. So there's a restriction. Okay. So we're going to look at the sensory aspect of it. You're going to do a feeling aspect. So when you imagine that you come to this road and I can't do it without, I want you to go, oh, yeah, it's sitting here, wherever yours is, and it's heavy and I can feel it push me back. Even though I'm trying to walk, I can feel this. And I need to obey. And you measure it and you measure it and you measure it, right? And let's say you got the color, you got the shape, you got the heaviness, and then you're going to pull it out. And then you're going to imagine that, okay, it's here. No, it's in my hands. And then you're going to open up your treasure chest. Okay. And then you're going to just put that in there and put that in there. And whatever goes in there transforms itself. So it's witnessing that there's, I got to do this. And then you go and you're like, okay, how much I got in there? 8. Oh, let's go back in here. Oh, there's still an, okay, 8 there. Okay. Keep going. You measure, yep, got it in there. Come back. Oh, there's still some left. And you keep doing it. You keep pulling it out. You keep pulling out how you know. Now, as you do the sensory thing with your kinesthetic, I want you to hold L3D and sit there and keep your hand like that as you're taking the energy out. because it's time to, and what kidneys do is filter out the toxins, to filter out what's impure and you no longer you need anymore. And, let's get this out of the body. Okay. And you have another part of you that says the fear of missing out. Oh, why do I sleep all the time? Oh, why do I am I physically, oh, I can't do this. Again, you have a lot of the self-talk that's not very good for you. And that's where you're going to have to decide um, the spleen. And the spleen has a lot to do with the way you think. So you're going to go left side, right side, but you're going to go and follow the big toe. So it's the inside leg up to where that bone is, the bunion point, and you're going to use a magnet on the left. And then you're going to deeply rub it. So it's 24 times, 12 on each side. Deeply rub it, 30. Go to the right, do the same thing. And then take a breath. Then you're going to go to the spleen on your foot. Is this a good one? This one. And you're going to do the new tool, and you're going to go right there, the big toe. And it's the size of a grain of rice right next to the nail bud. And you're going to tap it like that 20 times, left and then right. Go then back to the right foot and go back to that spleen point there, magnet 24 times and deeply rub it 30. And this helps the body to, and then go back and do the treasure chest method again with L3D and check to see if there's any more. We want you to then, let's say you're later on, you're like, oh, I feel good. And all of a sudden you catch your flippant language. Well, I'm such a dummy. Spirit goes, did you hear yourself? I just call myself a dummy. I'm using my gift of awareness. Cancel, clear, delete. Take my power back. I'm aware that I need to do this. Or that's what I did and I shouldn't have. You got to start training the flippant language, catching it, changing it, heal it out, tap it out, whatever you need to do. But you need to get back to you. You understand? All right. Love you, Teresa. We'll see you in Travel tomorrow. Okay. So as I'm looking, remember to, if you got a reading, you go to YouTube, subscribe, get notified, like, interact. You can help me a long ways by getting, I would like to get out there more. And so if you can help me do that, give back in that form, that'd be great. Because after the videos are up, watch some old ones, leave comments, help me out. That'd be great. Let me see. You're back, Miss April. You ready? You ready? You are so welcome, Teresa. I will tell you a couple more things, okay, so that you can understand the tension and what's going on. Our fascia does a lot of listening, and if you are feeling around and you're like, oh my God, that really hurts, okay, push in. Don't let up, but push in. Hold it if you have to. Breathe in and out. 1. In and out 2, do that 10 times, then release and look for more. What's going to happen is this is going to release this is going to release this. But if you feel like there's one back there, go find a tennis ball, do what you got to do there so that you can be released. But you may have to help the fascia while you're doing all these other things, because the fascia holds these particular memories and shapes you the way that you need to be. You understand? All right. You are welcome. And she says, yes, I'm here. Now, I'm going to see if there's anything particular you said, usually what spirit wants. Excellent, excellent. Okay. Oops, let me put the puzzle piece in so that we can say, yeah, I'm still here. I must have turned these on about the same time. Okay, not sliding. Wait, slide. Okay, there's people outside again. I hear that same woman. I'm listening to see if there's any other radio or anything on. Nope. What do you do when it doesn't show up as a puzzle piece? It's a square that's all white. Oh, there. You have to wait a little longer than expected. Wow, talk about. Oh my. There's such lag. I don't have a clue. I was putting the puzzle piece in and it froze. And I have no idea. It was not even close to it. So I don't know if it's going to accept or not accept. It says I got 4 minutes or it'll shut down. I don't even know if they can hear me. Yes. Yes, I can have, yes, the PT can't, yes. Yeah, that's fine. As long as you are giving some form of pressure, then it'll work. How do you get your power back? That's a great question. Gabriella, if you wait just a moment, I have a paid, so I'm gonna just work with her. And how do you get your power back? Is real quick, is that you have to look at where you lost it, measure it, and heal it out. And if I've never given you a reading before, I'll be glad to give one free. Yep. Okay. So I will be with you in a few minutes, Gabrielle, if you'd like me to continue, maybe help you directly or just finish that conversation. So we're going to go to Miss April Lynn. Immediately, I got gas issues. I got a burp. I said, is this a releasing? No, this is a percolating. So, and they're pointing to the osculation, meaning it's outside. So we're looking at the outside. And I said, so what's going on the outside? Are you absorbing it? Can you feel it bump up against? It is broadcasting. So basically, it's trying to control your energy field. I said, what? And they said, well, and they're pointing to your triple warmer. And you're observing, listening from what I can hear with ears, but your body's also listening about how people gaslight others and gaslight themselves. So it's like you're learning the gift about gaslighting, but now it's going to be more prominent. It's going to be going, oh, it's got your attention. And what's happening is familiarity. Oh, yeah. I remember that back in the day when I had other relationships or home, you know. So the body is saying it may not quite be here going, and you may be so used to it that you didn't hear yourself say it. You with me with this? Hold on, let me pull up the other camera so I can read. Where's it at? There she is. Feeling a little off, great mood, happy, just feeling something's different. Okay, so the body is telling you that even though you're living your best life, the body is saying, ooh, I'm over here focused and doing a memorized pattern, and your soul is saying, can you heal it now? So you are getting better and better at catching when you are meant to become integrated more. Okay, so we're going to help you understand how you get your power back. Now, I'm looking at this, and again, did you witness, were you conscious of what was going on in your environment, or were you unconscious at this? However it is, the body says, I recognize this broadcast, I recognize this gaslighting, I recognize this duress. So if a person was even being nice, now I gotta ask, how was the duress applied? Passively. And it sometimes when it's passively done, you don't quite catch it, right? Because it's not so obvious. But the body is saying that whatever is in your environment, whether it's a TV set, YouTube, TikTok, or in your work life or driving on the road, your body is saying that they're being lofty by making the other person being helpless by a passive move. So they figured out a plan. They figured out a plan to communicate with someone so they can get their needs met. But the person that it's happening to, that's their language of how they used to grow up. So that's why they magnetically come together. Does this make sense? But your body is saying, I still remember. I said, give me a date, give me an age. They said, when you're about 16, you had this particular outside thing happen directly to you, not necessarily witnessing it, but it happened to you. And as it happened to you, then your soul was saying, can you heal it now? And then you went through all of your life experiences. Now you're gotten older and they go, oh, look. We're ready to address this now. You've healed so much. You're ready, because you have to heal backwards. You're ready to heal this layer. Now I'm looking at how your body says, oh man, this was my home life language. Okay. When I was at home, this is what I'm used to. So again, you may not hear it. You may be seeing just vibration. So you're going to notice that when your body starts acting that way, you're going to go right wrist, first position, soft, and just sit there. Now you're like, but I don't remember anything. That's okay. Just go into your body and go, body, what did you hear that sounded familiar? And just sit with the body, and you're looking at it from a different perspective now. That was, and just because you said you start feeling off. Okay, so just focus on feeling off. And we want to change that automatic pilot button, okay, that trigger, that. So we're looking for more integration. The other thing you're going to do is that okay, and I feel like this is an anticipatory response in the body, is that you're going to go to L2D, okay, left wrist second position deep. And as you're holding, I want you to feel how there is erratic behavior if the passive way that people communicated to duress you to do what they want, because they do it with love, they do it with worry, they do it in push, and they do it with love as a web or whatever it is, because you're so stubborn, right? You just don't have to fall for it. But the demeanor, I want you to think about how this person, thank you. And you're just gonna, and then as you begin to feel that if you do not show up the way they want, then they get very erratic. They intensify their tone, their gestures get more wild, their words get more harsh. And this usually means that if you don't do it the first time, second time, third time, then everything progressively gets louder to expend at you. Do you understand? Okay, so the mirror image or the magnetic aspect, even if you're not encountering people that are doing it to you, but you had it once done to you, and the little thing that needs to be healed next on that layer, you experienced that today. Good. It's fresh. That's the best. And then you should be able to get to the peaks. You have to look at this next one as perspectives. You're watching. So as you're watching, you can understand this. And then you, being the receiver a long time ago, how that felt. And to the point where you probably had to do it to people, because we do all these different perspectives in different ways. And everything I just said, I want you to, how do you want her to address that? Oh, okay. pH in where first? Okay. They changed their direction just a little bit where it's going. So you're going to go to the left side first, and you're going to do the lung, which is on the thumb, right there. And I need to put out to the universe. I'd like to manifest a hand, like I got a foot. I need to manifest a hand. So thank you, Spirit, for I have a hand. I got to find a pen. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Spirit. There we go. So your point that you're going to do the left side first, then the right. You're going to tap it 20 times. If I can get this in the camera right. I don't have the right screen up. Hold on. I'm going to help you at all. Okay. So can you see? Oh, I don't have a good backdrop. There you go. So that thumb and right there. So nail bed right there. You're going to do both sides, both thumb. You're going to tap 20 times. You're going to tap 20 times. And then because it's the lung, you're going to go to the right. And you're going to go under the thumb. I got to stop hiding stuff on myself. You're going to go to the right hand. Okay. You're going to go under the, right there where the bend is. Right there under the thumb where that one is. And you are going to use a magnet 24 times. And then you're going to deeply rub 30. So because this pattern, yes, heal all of those, but this last points of how to tap the points and then do that, then you got 48 hours to use it, which means you're going to pay attention to everything I just said, whether it's a gaslighting, a duressing, passive, or too aggressive, or it's going to hit erratic. But it's how all this is you're going to, I think I just experienced this. Tap, 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 tap. Now, if you watch this person go very erratic, from calm to erratic, make sure you're doing L2D. Okay. Let's say you're sitting there watching the movie, you and your husband are doing great, and all of a sudden the experience doesn't have to happen to you, but you're going, oh, you over-identified with it. It helps you create a peak. It could be on the TV. At this point, if this looks like your pattern, grab left wrist, 1, 2, second position, nice and deep. Okay. Good. She's got it. Well, that's funny. As I'm looking here, this is a pair of gloves. What happened to my account? I hope that didn't. Hope I just didn't screw up my account. Nah. What happened? Hold on. So you may do something where you're going to go, oh no. They're saying, I hope that just breathe, and you should be fine. Okay, here we go. Yes, the small raise point. You got it. All right. Very good. Thank you. Yes, I still got it. Okay. Gabriella, are you still here? So you kind of got to see how there's the story, there's the energy, how you could resonate with this story. Maybe you didn't resonate with hers, but if you did, you can use the same points. But you said, how do you get your power back? So when you're looking, you obviously can you tell when you've lost power? You're like, oh God. And does it really feel like they have it? Because it's important to understand how we define it. Because hi, there you are. If you are saying that this situation is what I just described, then we can look at it from a particular point of thing. Now, if you want me to, I will go ahead. Is there something particular you want me to look at? Or do you want me to just read how your energies, the verse layer, what your soul would like you to dress? It's up to you. I'll give you this opportunity. Somebody just asked me, how do you give back? Okay, if you don't have money, or if you do have money, PayPal. You can do paypal.me/reading11. You'll see me, Dr. Brenda Power or Metaphysical Solution. 2, go over to YouTube and even Facebook if you choose, or both, and start to leave comments, do more than one, just general, okay. But that's how you can give back. because we want to get these ratings up. All right, Gabriella. Again, I cross nothing. I'm just asking, and your energies in the field is telling me. They're pointing to the word gaslit, not gaslight. So gaslit, meaning, did somebody gaslight you? And have you understood this? Or do you not understand? But so you're gaslit. And I said, could you give me more? So have you been going through a dark night? So have you been going through pain? Have you been going through mental or emotional anguish? Have you been going through a dull feeling, a disconnected feeling? Are you on any medication? Because all of a sudden my mind went from to huh. So regardless, I'm hearing that you've done really good at self-regulating, self-monitoring. But I'm hearing that the physical body is saying that you're carrying something that you haven't been able to resolve. And if I go back to when you were 14, did you let someone down or did someone let you down? I can't tell which direction. I just feel this energy of being let down. Okay. And it sits, it's heavy. I said, were you able to process it in a nice, healthy way? No. But you processed it the best you could. Yes, my physiology began to change and I felt helpless. So I felt helpless. So now, but the body is remarkable because it will get up and do what it has to do, the bathroom, to eat, to do this, because it still has that survival aspect. But my nose is draining, like I got sinus issues, and it says I have a lot of fear. A lot of fear. And I said, so are you stuck at this point? And they go, no, I bought into that I'm the problem. I bought into that I'm the deficiency. I bought into. So is that when you said gaslit? And they said, sorta. I look out to get acceptance and they're not giving it. Oh, okay. So what do you want her to do? You don't have to go any deeper. Can you relate to what I've said so far? I want to hear a yes. If so, you can then measure it. You can go, God, it's in my face, or it's in my chest, or God, yes, I remember that moment. And if you sit in the moment, you can focus on it. We don't want your brain to get worse. But it's for you to look at that. You can even ask your, what did I say, your 16-year-old self. I can't remember what age I said. Whatever age I said, I don't see it. But you can ask them to be present. And you can say, okay, you're like, God, I remember this incident like yesterday. Well, imagine that your younger self is sitting with you, and you say, okay, we're going to work on this together. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to right wrist. So you're going to identify left and right hand. You're going to go over to the right hand, and you are going to say, you're going to imagine. Is that what I said? 14? I couldn't remember. You're gonna imagine yourself holding at that age. Right, you're gonna hold, and you're both gonna hold. You're gonna help. You're gonna help your younger self. So you're gonna go to the right, and then you're gonna lay your fingers and going. Here's at the bend. It's under the thumb. Brenda said it's right first point, and then I'm gonna take my thumb. Now this is soft, but I'm supposed to push deep. So R1D. And then you're going to put your finger in the palm, safety, security, stability. Now, the important part is this part goes here. This part goes here. So you're going to push in, sit with this. And what you're going to do is you're not going to go conclusion, conclusion, conclusion. No, we're going to say we're going to feel. Because that's all you're doing anyway. But if you were to directly focus on the feel, then the feel can't control you. you're just going to stare down the focus. So you're going to keep your hand here, good 15 minutes. You're going to measure how high it is, where it is. You can even ask your 14 what year or what what do you say? 10 billion, whatever. Sometimes we're dramatic when we have hormones that are kicking in. But just understand that you're helping yourself in another timeline. Okay. So you're going to sit there, and after 15 minutes, you can go, oh, I feel better. Again, only focus on the feel, because when you know it's there, you're going to go, it's right there. It's right there. Or it could be in your face. But either way, you're just going to feel. You may hear words, just let them pass. And then after 15 minutes, you measure it. And this is why you write stuff down. Oh, it's still there, but I feel better. Do not let it grow again. Grab that point, go back in with that new measuring point, and just feel and breathe. When you're done, and you'll know, like, oh, done, you look over and say, how do you feel? Now, if they're getting up and they're playing and they're dancing or whatever they're doing, say, thank you for healing, and then let them go. And you then go, I have to now witness with my higher self that's how I identified, but I don't have to. Now, your test is going to come out a little later. You'll be watching, doing whatever it's called, living, and all of a sudden, what pushed your button before will begin to appear. And you are going to go, is this an automatic pilot? Or you're going to go, I'm not reinstalling that shit. And then you can go back to that point, because you're seeing it the next ring out. You're seeing it the next ring out. And if you keep healing out the next rings out, then you're going to heal these perspectives, these strings, these certain amounts that, you know, it's what it does is you're gathering the wisdom, and you're saying, I'm changing this. Now, you are worth it. It's not going to cost you anything except for a little time and focus and dedication. And if you keep doing this and you keep showing it and you will begin to hear better with your heart. You'll begin to hear better. You may need another point along the way. Just come back to the show, and then cost, $5. If you want to work on bigger stuff, it's 15 or 25. You can watch this again. When you go to rewatch this, the timestamp won't be the timestamp below. You can't see it, but I have a clock that sits here, and that clock is your timestamp. Okay. Now, if you got any questions before we go any further, because a lot of people are like, but I got questions. Okay. If the question relates to how we heal it or the direction of healing, but it is not to sit there and just keep having me to tell you the story. Okay. Thank you so much for letting me help you understand there is no invading in anything. But if you feel it, then you can go to my website, look under Celtic Weave or peanut butter, and just break the energy field. Okay, scoop, 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 break the energy field. Scoop, 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 break the energy field. And by the third time, it's yours. You have responsibility, and I have responsibility to change this. Another one I'm going to tell you real quick is because you focus on that, you are not you. You are that person, or you're that experience. So you go into what's called a fixed state. You go on my website, Medicine Woman Solution, that's SOULTION.com. And you go ahead and look under healing tools, look for fixed state. But what it is you say the age you are now and your name, and you go, I am. For me, I'd say I am Brenda Jean Power. I'm 58. Take my hand off. Do it again. And then I'm going to focus. And then all of a sudden, you'll realign to this present moment. Okay. Again, thank you so much for letting me help. Remember, you are worth it. It doesn't cost you anything except for a little bit of your time and deciding, do you want to be happy or do you want hell? I got to check my thing, make sure there's nothing else. Okay, we're good there. Now, Autumn's page, and we're going to, is there anything particular? I think she said let whatever spirit wants, so I'm going to go back to that. And what spirit wants. Okay. There seemed to be a concern because you had a episode, but you're not, because you also go, oh, he or me or we needed to know how to handle it if you had an episode. Now, I'm looking and seeing if there's anything else. And it's not. But at the same time, Spirit says to help you on your next part of the leg of your journey is that we want to get you to get your nerves prepared. And that is, your nerves are saying, let down, let down. So if I've said, what do you mean by this? Were you let down? No, I let other people down. Do you feel that you let him down or them down? I didn't show up the way that I wanted, which is healthy. Okay. So we're going to go to the root, because even though the present moment, Amy, can you see if you can handle it? The present moment, I'm looking at the thoracic part of your spine, is that you have to play this out, because when you were in the womb, about 7.5 months in the womb, the environment that your mother was in, she had no control, literally had no control or say about her body and about you, because you were in the body. So I'm looking at this pregnancy as, did she want to get pregnant or not get pregnant? I feel, okay, this is weird, because they're giving me somebody else's story. I know it's not your story, but they're giving me this story. And the story is that they were supposed to give up their baby for adoption, and they had no control over it. The grandparents did, and forced the grandchild to give up so there's some type of vocal that has control over how she was supposed to be or was, and she didn't do. So she had loss of control. You felt that you have no control over your physical form. And I said, is this an epi? And they go, no, but it is the experience that got to be played out. So vibrationally, she felt, I have no control. We're going to do a PT, the sing point of it. And do you want to do the spine too? No, just the sing. Okay. So the kidney. Any other T2 double one? Just one. Both. And it's like both parents were allowed to have control. Okay. So you felt their, frequency, vibration. They want me to tell you that you're going to tap two particular points. Okay. This one's not going to show it as well. First thing you're going to do is you're going to, I'm going to have 3 points. What we're going to do first is you're going to go to both ankles, left, then right. You're going to go, that ankle bone right there, that ankle bone. Follow the big toe, so the inside part of the leg, go up, and there's an ankle bone. So behind the ankle bone, you're going to use your magnet 24 times, because this point needs to open up this whole kidney meridian. And you're going to push in 30. You're going to do both sides, left and right. Then you're going to go to the bottom of the left and then right. And it's the part of the arch. Okay, so it's like, so right there. And you're going to push in, and more you can pressure and do 30, or you can tap and do 30, or you can put your foot on a ball, golf ball, and do 30. But then you're going to go, and this is not going to show it very well. I need to make these ones darker. So the outside part of your leg, this is your pinky toe. You have this here, but it's inside. So if I were to just say, look at the pinky toe, okay, look at the pinky toe. I don't know if I can make them any darker, but it's the inside part of the toenail of the pinky toe, right next to the nail bed that needs to be addressed. Okay. So here's your pinky toe, just like I have here for the it's the inside. You're going to do 20. And you're going to go to the right foot, do 20. Okay. And you're going to go back to the right leg only. And you're going to do that kidney point right behind the ankle bone. Use your magnet again. And then deeply penetrate that 30. Now, lack of control. I can't control what my body does. I can't control. I feel like this is what the argument was, is that we can't control what our bodies are doing. We can't control. So to help you understand this, what do you want to do first? Is the lack of control is not in the right meridian. It is invading the kidney meridian. So you're going to go to the left wrist, third position, nice and deep, and you're going to focus on how I can't control my physical body. Okay, I can't control my physical body. Then you are going to go to L to D and push in deep. And you're going to heal out, I lack power to control. I lack the say, the anything. I lack it. Okay. Then you're also going to do something, which is to take it out of the governing meridian. And you have two emotions that are tied in the governing meridian. Okay. Because the lack of control is stuck in the kidney, you're going to go kidney, lack of power, and off. You're going to do it again. Kidney, invading energy, lack of power. Take it off. Do that 10 times. Good thing this is recording, eh? And the second emotion that you need to take out has everything to do with timid. And you are going to do this 10 times. And is this somebody else's? Yes. She picked up, just like you picked up from her and from other people, that, oh my God, I can feel that they have the lack of power, and I can feel it. So you feel timid because they are going to either be aggressive or whatever. You're going to feel it. So they want you to take it out of the governing meridian. And you're going to say, shy and timid. Shy and timid. Do that 10 times. We need to get that out. Okay. And then when you're all done, you're going to draw up here, and then you're going to draw up here. And then you're going to do it again 3 times. Rub, rub, rub. Pull it up. But the top, basically by your huyen up through up your spine, come up, here. And then you're just going to then hold your forehead and your belly button, push and lift up, smile, look out, get your giggles on. And then you need to kind of like feel it pulse, boof, 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 and feel that strengthening. Okay, we're going to help remove that. All right, so Gabrielle, are you still here? Let's see what we have. We have, I got to catch up here. Where'd it go? Why does it do that? Every time I touch it, it goes right back to the beginning. How long, I think the question was, how long do you keep healing? And it's simple. Oh, you think they're gone? Well, she may have got out of that. She may have read it. If she's still here, I can continue. But the question is, how long? When the number comes to 0, you'll know. You're like, oh, God, that feels good. Then you're done. If it comes back, get back healing, measure it, and get it down to 0. How long? When it gets to be 0 and you can feel the difference. You have to keep witnessing again and again till it's gone. We may want to put that 1134 next to Gabriella's name so that she can look at that again. Okay. Okay. How are we all doing? We have had a good day so far. I'm just going to double check to make sure that, all right. Okay, and I'm going to get the, where do you go to get the, there it is. And let's bring her on. Oh, that's if I can find the right one. That would be great, wouldn't it? You can't send a message. What are you talking about? I wasn't sending messages. There we go. Okay. We're going to bring Amy on and we're going to work on the next part. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm loving life. That's what I'm doing. How are you guys doing? Working. It's winter is coming. It's getting chilly. Fall is here. You know, it's kind of cool when you can feel it. And people get to experience, like here in Michigan, you would bundle up and you go outside and you have to bundle up again. Here, you bundle up and then you go outside and you're like too hot and you have to take your jackets off. So, otherwise, hi. We'll
Thank you.
Here you go. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It was really weird when I clicked the link, it took me to you can go to the app or but then it took me I had to sign in, so then I like cleared everything off and then clicked it again and I was able to get in just like that.
Ah, so clearing the cache, the old information, so that the new information can directly connect. Okay,
Hmm.
okay, so ooh, sounds like you're getting upgrades. Okay, whoa, there's a lot going on. So we have been changing. I know that she, but just bear with me. Spirit is now saying, "Hey, I got somebody to talk to here, like person. Hold on." Whew. It's not like you guys weren't live. You definitely have a pulse. The stranger things that are happening right now is I thought it was funny when I saw it like several years ago that so you have this one reality and then here's the one collective, but now everything is collapsing down into one where you get to see all the different ways people, so you're getting to see the kaleidoscope, which one's right, and it's meant to, and I thought that was intense before, but now we have an event that's hi Giselle, we have oh wait, it's probably wrong, um, that it happens every 100 years, but now it's really squishing to see more. And I thought we saw a lot. No, this is for you to say, I'm not doing this. I used to believe that way. I don't need to believe that way. It's another way to help you wake up to say, I'm choosing the perspectives I really want and the qualities. Because eventually you're going to come out with different spiritual values, which are going to help realign you so that you can start to govern thyself. Um, that is what I wanted to say. So how and what, What would you like me to help you with?
It sounds like I need a report card.
Oh, a report card. Okay. So, Spirit, let's find out what's going on. I hear she's doing okay. She's doing ho hum. She's doing okay and she's doing ho hum. I saw ho hum usually means that there's a disconnect. And I go, she's just hanging. Just hanging. Okay. They said that have you had any, they used the word under. And I said attack. They go, no. Under pressure? No. It's like your exposure to someone, whether you were talking to them, watching TV. God, you show me watching TV again. So you may have over-identified, or you may have said, yes, this is what happened to me. Yes. So anything that may have in the past is kind of sped forward, or you just feel like you had a fresh experience, but it's about the ego. It's your under ego. So as I'm looking at this, there's a part of you that so when you were growing up, let's just start there. So you were about 23, and somebody's ego says to you, you can't behave that way. And they're telling you hysterically, you can't behave that way. It's wrong. So they're blaming you. I hear the word blame, blame, blame. And you're like, how do I, as a human, communicate, relate? Because I don't like confrontation. And so you're learning to communicate as a whole.
Oh, I just had something pop in from when I was working at the nursing home, and there was this coworker that was in my face, and I don't remember what she said. I don't remember the context of the conversation or anything like that, but we were in this room, and I wanted to punch her lights out, but I didn't. I punched my hand instead.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
that's what popped in.
All right. So that's a peak. That's a peak. So I typed in something, but that's a peak. So what I want you to do and understand is that you are.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just got a violation. I scratched my chin. What did I do? You're live. Okay, hold on, hold on. Here's this sign. This says violation warning. You live both of them. Your live is flagged for violent and criminal behavior. Repeated violations could result in. So you're being accused of doing something that you didn't do. That you didn't do. Live restricted from audience. Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable. Now you can have feedback. I understand the decision, but restrictions to TikTok should allow. Live does not contain content mentioned in notice. At least I didn't think
Oh,
it did.
it was because of what I said.
What'd you say?
That's why you got.
Yeah, but you didn't say anything. Oh, this?
When I said I did this, that's what TikTok, because it's AI.
Oh, wow. So AI needs to learn the difference between actual violence and communicating and healing violence.
Right.
So the notice is unclear. I'm still not sure why I got restricted. I'm going to put that one because I don't know. I mean, it needs to learn because it's a big difference. So you are being told by someone repetitively at 23, what's the next big event? Okay, both your parents. So 33, both parents. So this is like an epi. Something happened with them as well. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I don't know how to get from there to there. Um, so I have to repeat what I just did. So I have to justify, or I have to defend, or I have to. All right. So that means we have to have protocol and different things like that. So AI, artificial intelligence, is learning. So basically, it's not black or white. It's there's a um, hmm. To be able to be present or to show yourself. Some people have different type of ways of seeing it and defining it. And when they come along and see you, they say that you did it wrong. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking at that, does this cause you, not cause? Okay, we're just going to take and we're going to do the sing, pH thing. And we're going to do the gallbladder left side first, then the right. The gallbladder one is the fourth toe, and it's the point is next to the pinky toe. So the nail bed is right next to the pinky toe.
Which one first?
The left side first, and you're going to do the fourth toe right there.
Okay.
So we're looking at the vibration. So you may not even know. And this is where the scalar field crosses.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where two definitions where you're out of sync. And so when it shows up, you're supposed to show up this way, but you've been healing. So you're showing up, you're not quite showing up that way. And yet they're saying you are. And you're like, okay. So now we need to, it's so this, from what I can tell, because they keep saying two, meaning parents, they go two parents. So so I feel like this is more of an epi thing that they had experienced, you vibrationally picked up, and therefore you have healed enough that it's not you anymore, but the body's trying to.
Okay, that makes sense.
But in order to do the next thing, because you hosted the angels,
Mm-hmm.
so whatever you said, this is part that's got to be cleared in order for the grace and ease of whatever it is you asked for. Because this is showing up and stopping you. And these restrictions, so you don't want to learn the hard way. We don't need to have another, bad thing occur. So I'm looking now. After you've done the left, then you go to the right to tap. Then you go to the right one, and the gallbladder point and use your magnet on it, and then rub deeply 30 times. So this is the body vibrating and saying, this is, like, to help you guys understand what I mean by this. How did my body to know to show up like this and not like her or you? So how did it show up to make long hair instead of no hair? How did it show up to say that I have to have corrected lenses, or that I have to have big boobs, or that I have to be this way? How did it know, right? So it vibrates into, so what makes you vibrate into the shape? That is the notes that you're playing, these frequencies that you're playing. Do you understand? And so you're not quite matching up spiritually with how the body's saying it's showing up. And your body's saying, well, and you're like, so this is why sometimes you'll just cry, or sometimes this will just pop up. But this was from what I can understand, this was part of your big overall system that they could not let go of their perspective.
Oh, they didn't want me to because my
Die.
brother did.
No, pass on. Right, and your sister and your brother. Um, um, and if I ask, so you've gone there, and we're going to say, is that true? And they go, not necessarily. The parents knew how to use lofty energy as parents. They
Hmm.
know what's better for you. We're parents. We know, see, in their mind, they have mastered how to be not just parents, but how to be as spiritual beings, they've mastered their emotions. They got high IQs. They believe they've mastered this world. And they want acknowledged. When did you stop acknowledging them?
I
Maybe
just heard
never.
15.
So did you stop acknowledging? When did you? Yeah, 15. And so they became irrelevant to you, and your parents were like, we're irrelevant to her. We have to get that power back. She's a bad girl. We lost control over her. So we're going to go back to a pH in the sing. And I said, include the back. No, they said the sing. So what you're going to do is you're going to go left side, right side. So left side, you're going to do the liver point, which is the inside of the big toe. Do you need a picture of that?
No.
Here's your big toe, inside, poke 20, go over to the right side, inside toe, poke 20, then go to the right foot and use the magnet on the source point on the liver. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I feel like that one and maybe the gallbladder, you might have to do both. You got a piggyback point system here. So when the frequency starts to sing, you're going to have to probably do gallbladder and then liver next. That means tap the point and then use a magnet on the right and rub that deeply. Okay. So you have a very particular behavior that you need to change in the scalar field. The field is saying that this is what you're supposed to see and expect. And that's so you're being 15. You peeled a lot back to 15 now. You're at 15. And you I'm not. So you have to look at this. You are no longer validating. No longer is their voice important. And you've got a cocky, bitchy attitude. It is. And I'm not taking away her power. She's
No.
lost power. She needed it, but it don't serve in her adult world. If she's whatever she asked for those angels, they're saying you have to get that life force back so you can manifest. Otherwise, you're not going to get your whatever you wish for to come to pass. Does that make sense?
It does. Mm.
So I want you to, again, this isn't a negative one. This is some joy that you're just like, bitch, please. And it's like this rise of this, bring it on. And this very strong nature of being, tell me I can't be this way. You know, you've always come across as this victim, but then there's this underbelly of the joy that you put into, I'll just make you irrelevant. You do not matter. Look at you. You're like, yeah, I know exactly what you felt the rise. Now, we're not taking this power away from her. The problem is it's stopping her from what she's asked from the angels. So she needs to start doing R1D. Don't tell me I can't behave that way. So she's going to hold R1D. Rebecca, if you hang on, when I'm done with this client here, I am on YouTube right now as well. And I have a client, and I would be glad to give you a reading. And then if you give you a reading, you can then go rewatch that reading again on my show, Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion on YouTube. And to give back, subscribe. Okay. You can always tell when they're using a backdrop because they'll disappear. That's my tree outside.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. So she's working on herself with Success Hope Therapy Tool. And she's holding a very specific point so she can feel the peak of this joy of being in you can't you can't this is where you take a whole bunch of negative emotions and you use them in the, I don't want to say devious way, that's not what I'm saying, is that you can, because you want your joy but you can't have it, so you have to have it in another way. So you do it by using all these emotions. And what she's looking at and has a belief system is saying, I can't behave the way I want because I got proof. And then, but her rise of, I'm going to overcome this. Again, thank you. And again, she's got to decide if she wants to keep this particular behavior or this particular temperament because it's preventing her, according to what her soul is saying, is it's that amount of energy being stuck there. She needs that life force back in order to get what she's asked from the angels. So she was able to host the angels. If any of you would like to host the angels, just write me, or I will send you the link.
It's a cool experience.
Yeah, it is a very cool experience. So, Rebecca, did you just send this? It showed up as Antonio. So I got to figure out which screen is, so somebody just asked for a read. So again, she's working on, how do you know that feeling? You can feel the little curling of the lips. Can you feel the intense? Okay, now notice that this you agreed, you accepted, and you gave it your willpower to, this is how I'm going to defeat the stuff that's happening to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I heard, well, if I let this go, I'm going to lose my power. And I'm like, no, you're not going to lose your power. You're going to gain it back by letting this go. And she looked at me like, how does that work?
Right. So you got to get her to just feel and decide, is it still working? Does she need to have all that protection up? Because there's wisdom locked in there. Have her at that age do it too. Would we say 15?
Yep.
Yeah.
She's doing it.
All right, Gabriella, it is your reading. I'll give it to you in just a moment. Tell me what you want me to address as soon as I'm done with Miss Amy here. Thank you for honoring me and yourself, and we will do our best to help. How can I serve? Oh, just remember, Gabrielle, you get to watch the video again and again on YouTube. Now, what's interesting is that in your back is this tightening up, like it wants to be a cramp. And I'm not sure exactly where. You want her to do the PA? No, she doesn't know. But it is, it's the pain is in the upper part, like where your bra line would be, but it's coming from L5 where it's tightening up. So L5 is the energy, the muscles and things that are happening there. Is that this is a territorial thing. So, do you want her to switch? Switch over to R1S real quick because your body is saying, I can feel that they cross the territory. No. So that means how they express themselves, erratic, whatever, you could feel the energy cross the line. So as you are holding R1S now, feel how it's territorial. You're like, you ain't crossing this territory anymore. At the same time, you experience, oh my God, they crossed the territory, and you are helpless. So you got to do feel both, because you can hold two thoughts, maybe not simultaneously, but you can to some degree. Okay. I will have to refresh my memory, Gabrielle, about what reading I gave you. Ooh, so I'm feeling that her sinuses have changed just a little bit, which is good. Hi, Joy Joy. So, tribal, I think we're going to, not sure exactly what we're going to talk about. You keep healing. I'm just filling in the blanks because I got those other monitors. There's some etiquette that we're going to have to talk about, but I'm not sure we're going to talk about that. Spirit will probably just tell me, you know how that goes. Spirit wants to work on what the information is. Now, I feel you're working through something because like my back is releasing. My back is releasing.
As I'm doing the clock with my eyes, and the
Oh, good.
picture, I'm going from right to left. It's like in the
Good. You're changing
upper
the brain. Good.
right hand corner that I keep getting stuck.
And you keep getting stuck because that's when you know, like when somebody invades your house, somebody steals something, somebody invades your privacy, somebody crosses the line. You need to witness that there is a territorial line. And in order for you to survive, you've had to cross other people's territory too, because that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. In that picture that I took when we were walking last Sunday of that truck that said Lofty, that's what I'm seeing.
Oh,
It's like it's the Lofty of um my parents, I think.
15. Who's in your world?
And now it's moved to like up straight up
Okay.
instead of in the upper right. Ooh.
Go to R2D, and this is like your final say was no, 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 like no, this isn't going to happen again. You've had enough. It's and instead of
Well, I can't say those words out loud.
no, I just saw you saw the evidence. Okay, excellent. That's what I wanted. That's it. You're there. Feel the intensity. You can measure that moment right there.
I just heard like 5,000.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to put you on mute because this one might be. Okay, I'm going to give her a reading, and I feel like you're going to have to go back and forth from R2D to L2D because you're going to be on an emotional roller coaster. So I'm going to stop your video and I'm going to mute it, and we'll go over to Gabrielle and give her reading. Okay. Can you refresh my memory? I looked and apparently I didn't. I had the transcripts up, but then it did not start transcribing. I'm trying to remember what it is that I said. I know you said, what's the get the power back? Gabriella, there is something that, as I was telling you to work on, there's this thing called a gun shy. We're gun shy about something. Your body is like going, but, and then it's so a gun shy is like, let's say I just had a fight, or they slap me down and I'm afraid to bring up the subject again, or I don't know how to be friends with the person again, or I'm don't know if I can trust again. So you're going to be hesitant. You're going to be gun shy, opening that heart. Does that make sense? Because now that you're ready to do more of the healing, they're saying, have you had any points with anybody like this where, because this is kind of like all of a sudden, it's safer to feel that you need to put a protection up. Okay. And you've done your best to overcome it, do all these things, but the situation is repeating itself. So have you seen whatever it is that, let's say, I don't know if it was an argument or whatever it was, whatever the situation, whatever the confrontation, whatever it is, this is repeating itself. They're saying there very three specific times, and they're showing me that this is now part of what to expect. So like, let's say you're watching TV in bed and you made that your comfortable place, but then when you try to go to sleep, you wake up. Well, you made the bed a place where you're supposed to be awake, and instead of being in a bed where you're supposed to sleep. Okay, so the situation is very much this is what it is. So it's changed how it's supposed to show up to you. When I ask about this gun shy, okay, my ears go, I heard. I saw gestures and I heard the tone. You ain't gonna be able to do that without me. And what I hear, the internal representation is, without you, I can't. And so you are carrying, I don't know if it is, I can't leave, I can't be me because without me, they can't. Or, and I feel like you've been in this situation too, and you may have to heal both perspectives here, is that I want self-esteem, I want to do this, but I can't do it without you. Can you see those two different distinct perspectives? And can you relate to them to the point that you could measure them and you're like, yeah, I know that one. That one is real. It's huge. They said if you wanted to, you have reverted to overtime hopelessness. Here we go again. Ugh. And you'll try this and you come to this and here we go again. And now it's become part of your truth. Okay. they say the first thing that we'd like you to do because is to change that particular part of the song, the frequency, the way the body's going. And if you can follow along, that would be awesome because then, this is the real time. And that is, you're going to take your left hand. Okay. I'm going to draw this on my finger because, again, I'm putting out to the universe, I need a hand. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So just so that you can see this, you're going to take your left hand. You're going to turn it around. Now, just so you know, are you pregnant or anything? Because I'm not predicting not any of that science. I need to know what state your physical body is in. Because if you're not, then I can show you the next point. Because this is a controversy acupuncture point. But this one is that you need to understand that's a point. So left hand, first pointer finger, right there, next to the nail bud, just so people can see it. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 20. Then you can do the right hand. Okay. And you'll notice your state of mind of understanding. And then you're going to go to the right hand and you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now, again, this is pointer finger to the thumb. The side of the thumb is where you're going to tap. So, same thing, side of the thumb, 20 times. Now, if you're not pregnant, no, okay, good. You're going to take your right hand and then you're going to follow the thumb and the pointer finger. You'll feel the two bones come down and then you'll slide into a hole. You're going to use your hand or a business magnet and you're going to use the hand. It'd be palm, back of the hand, palm, back of the hand. You're going to do that 24 times or 12 on each side, depending on how you count. Then you're going to deeply get in there and just rub, penetrate it 30 times. Get in there, rub it, okay? Then you're going to notice if the thoughts have changed or the feelings changed or whatever. You need to know, because you're learning with your gift of awareness how to use your spiritual intuition. Wow, I was thinking that way. And just by moving the energy, the statement has changed. So then you keep, okay. You have identified, you have said, I understand this. You have gone in and said, I can almost see exactly where it sits. And that's a overtime hopelessness, which is what you'd have to address first. So you're going to take your right hand, get it on the screen here. And you're going to follow under the thumb, the first position. You're going to place your thumb in that, not in the middle, first under the thumb. And you're going to place soft, not deep, nice and soft. Palm. Now you're going to sit with me. I will give you extra time. And just sit there with me. And how do you know you're done? Is because it went from 10 to 0. And then, so you're just going to sit like that, making sure that this is touching here and here, because these 3 points and this point, this whole part here is all learning how to get yourself out of stress, bring the blood back up to your forebrain. And sit with, I got to be able to talk because I'm doing the show, but I want you to keep your hand there. Tell me if you're going to participate. I will give you extra time, just like I'm giving Amy extra time. I want you to feel the overtime hopelessness. Oh, here we go again. Because it is connected to, I'm gun shy. The body is being trained that this is going to be the way it is. And they're layering on top of each other. Okay, so I was going to say, if my husband or if Amy's present, if they could open my door a little bit. She's doing it. Okay, I will sit right here with you. I will gift you extra minutes because you need to experience something. And since you paid, I will help you understand you're going to get your worth. Must be getting warmer outside. because now I can feel all of that in here. So while they're doing this, anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Well, I'm going to go over. Gabrielle, you keep your hand there, and you tell me when you start noticing it going down, and then give me a number. And I'm going to communicate with Amy, and it's warm.
Yes, it is.
How are you feeling?
Better. Didn't even know that was sitting there, and it to articulate the feeling, it's like there's an extra piece.
Okay, so you really looking at that peak of how that personality was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It would show up with the Walmart man. It would show up with your husband. It would show up. Now, I'm going to ask, did you, how you're doing? And you're holding on about a 1.5. So it feels like it's gone, but it's not. I said, do you want her to hold the same point? Do you want her, what do you want to do? And they go, she's got to understand why that personality was born. Okay. And so part of your journey is to stop believing you're deficient. So
Mm-hmm.
why would that personality come up? What's the need for that personality? What deficiency did you have that the only way that you could be you was to create that?
It was to feel safe.
Okay, but what did you believe you couldn't do? I couldn't stand up to them. I can't have a voice. I'm what? You couldn't what?
Speak.
Okay. And you have to notice that when it does, it doesn't allow you to see what other people are saying. You just see it's a way to fight. So it loses because now you're grown up. It loses. Now, I'm watching you. You're going to go back to R2D because you've missed out on life. And now, with that, you have this fear that you're going to miss out on life again. I am going to mute you and stick you back in there. Thank goodness you pay. So let me stop your video. If you can, open my door. I'm sweating. Gabrielle, how you doing? How are you doing? Thank you. Doesn't have to be all the way, just a little bit. Thanks. So, sitting with yourself, sitting with the tool, success, the medicine woman solutions method of using the success hope therapy tool. Good. Okay. So, did you have a measure before? And you're saying you're good. Good as you got it done to 0, or if there's a little bit left. And did you have a number to start with? Because what I'm looking at is you got it down to a 4. Usually when you get a 3 or 4, you don't feel it anymore. But because you moved off your normal and it became your new normal. Now, what I see for you is that next layer is that how do you trust? How do you trust that this isn't going to happen again? How do you trust that in this relationship? How do you trust? Okay. And that's what's happening with you, because this is going to rebuild again, because we have to heal the root. We have to heal by the layers. And if you wanted to continue, so again, it's hard to tell with just very limited words. This is why we offer you to come on. That's if you wanted to. But that's why we do this. But anyways, she's paid. We're going to do our best through this communication tool. And if she wants to continue, she needs to witness. How do you know? And maybe she didn't start off with a number. And because you have to get and recognize, become aware of these different stages. All I know is I'm doing good, and it's if you want to continue, if not, let me know. But the point is that you need to have a marking point. You've recognized it. It's what number, and if you're like, well, I can't guess it, but it's high, it's there. But is there a little left? Then continue holding that point. Because it's connected to the many layers to the thing that you need to work on. And you said, I'd like to work on my reading. And I'm going to say, what point did I give you? What did I tell you that you needed to look at? What did your soul say that you were directed to look at? Again, you can watch this over and over and keep doing the healings over and over. This is to Gabriella. I'm just hoping that she's listening. If you choose to go a little bit further with your healing, then you can go right wrist, second position, deep. And look at the word distrust. You feel lighter. Okay. But is it still there? Is it still there? While I'm waiting for the answer, Amy, if you're listening, notice that I've ruined my chances for the future. You keep doing that self-talk. Heal that out. Okay. If you still like it's still there, then right wrist, second position, nice and deep, and do the same thing. And it's distrust. Whatever the relationship was, whatever's going on, you have built up this wall that was open and free, but because it keeps repeating and overtime hopelessness, it's you have your wall up, and it's time again. You're not healing it so you're getting exposed and hurt. You're getting the wisdom out. Alrighty. But witness to yourself, Gabrielle. You're applying something, and it's making a difference. And you'll notice the thoughts are different. Your feelings change, and it changes the words. Because triggers and things you'll feel first. There won't be any words about it. You'll feel first, and then you'll look at the memorized words. And as then you focus on the feel, pop goes the thoughts that's connected to the now with whatever's going on. And as we heal backwards, then you can start to get the wisdom out of it. And then you have a choice point of saying whether you want to go, continue, change. You are welcome. You're welcome. Again, you get to rewatch this as many times as you want over on YouTube. And thank you. Okay. I'm going to find out, Amy, what number she's at, because we may just have to have her heal off the air. But again, there's nothing wrong. We have layers, we have things, we are human, we do actions, and it's not that they're wrong. It's just these are personalities that you may not even know you're doing, or patterns of communication. Okay, no problem. To book a private session, you just go ahead and email me, or you can just message me, and you'll talk to me, because then we can get, because I'm in Australia, and we'll get the times right. So where are you located from? Okay. Because I do work with the United States. I used to live in Michigan, in America, North America. So, okay. You can come back on. Hi.
Hi.
So you felt
That
like the mental. Did you feel the mental by not the words as much as the feel first? As you started to
yeah.
do the feel, could you hear the mental? Or was it garbled
hmm
and you didn't know why, but your body's responding?
No, I could hear it. Yeah, my body responded to, oh my God, they'll send me back. And by that, I was adopted. So I think that was a fear growing up that if
Yes.
I didn't,
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is that you have, see, you still want to go there, right? Even though you got it down to zero. And I said, is that true? And so what you're going to do is you're going to tap the stomach point and the stomach point on your left and then your right. And then you're going to use the magnet on your right. Is that second toe towards the pinky side? Toronto. Ah, Canada. Good to see you. Good to have you. So yeah, we can work with time zones and things like that. Usually it'll be my morning and your evening. Um, we just went back, fall back. Do you guys do daylight savings times in Toronto? I don't know. So you may not, but we'll work all those things out if you'd like. My website does show the times. You will get, I will listen to you, but I also will help you address and heal what you need to heal. Okay, so um, we got to change your frequency. So that's what's happening right now. So you don't have to freak out. You just change your frequency. All right. Thank you, Amy. And tomorrow in Tribal, that's when we'll see you again and we'll work on more deeper issues.
Thank you.
What would you tell people about Tribal? Why do you pay each month to come?
Because number one, I learned, I we learn the programs and the patterns that we keep losing power to, and we heal. You help us to see where we're losing power and how to heal it so that we don't have to keep repeating the same pattern over and over again. And it and we don't have to be friends with anybody in the group, but we have it's like this similar story. Everybody has a similar story that we can all relate to. And we learn from each other as well because it we resonate with someone else's story. And if, you know, say I resonated with what you were talking to Gabriella about, I could hold that same point
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
heal from my perspective of that story. And that's what you've been teaching me for the last how many years?
So what I've noticed with you is that you pay for $42 a month and you get 4 weeks, promised 1 hour, but it's always more than an hour that you're
Yes.
given. But then there's also sometimes 5 weeks and you get that as a bonus.
Yep.
Um, and though, so $42 a month, you get 4 healings versus a private session, but yet you still do your private sessions. And you can get,
Uh-huh.
because you're in tribal, you get that discount that comes with
Yep.
that. So you don't have to pay the full price. So you get, why do the private sessions?
Why do the private sessions? Because you can go deeper and you can ask more personal questions, and the rest of the group doesn't have to hear what you're wanting to work on.
Very good, very good.
Because it may
So
be
even
something
when we
very deep,
do
very
talk,
private.
start again.
It may be something that's very deep, very private that, you don't want the rest of the world to know about.
Exactly. You don't need to air it out. Um, so one of the things is that with proper etiquette is we don't really want people to talk about, you know, blaming or to look at and say people's names. So we try to do very discreet. We try to do our best to if there is any of that, I help you understand how to get your power back.
Mhm.
But we don't just do, okay, personal stuff. Now, I may pick somebody out of the group and talk about their personal things so people can relate to whatever the topic is.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, you will, if you don't know how to resonate, I will say, well, have you ever had it in the past? Oh, yeah. Well, then you are resonating, and it's probably, and let's see if there's a root. And then because you get to heal your stuff, you get to heal not just what's going on, may not be the freshest thing in your mind, but you're like, oh, yeah, it's there. But you're also healing out the collective. You're also helping to heal out your timelines, as well as the epigenetics of helping your energies of your environment, and to change it. But anyway,
Mhm.
we will see you tomorrow in Tribal. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll talk to you later, hon. Bye.
Bye.
So anybody else here that has not had a reading from me before, you go ahead and I will give you a free reading. If you would like to pay, say you're going to pay, and then I'll stick around, and then we will um, be of service. So, like, how do I help? Um, Again, I appreciate all of you guys showing up and looking at. I'm looking at all of my past videos, re-updating them, and putting information in there so there's a description. So if you ever start to want to look at a video, look at the description and say, oh, that's the one I want. You may see certain timestamps. Share them, and uh, even the eye-catching thumbnails I'm learning how to do as well. We can do this. We got this. Remember, you are an amazing human, but you also can be this wonderful spirit. You don't have to separate it anymore. You don't have to be told to forget about that part of yourself. I can help you build your intuition, your spiritual intuition, so that you can get yourself out of that matrix, so you can move into the 5D, um, dimension, and allow you to have more sovereignty and more autonomy. Okay, there's a lot more that one can do. Can I ask a question? Sure, Davin. Go ahead, hon. So while we wait for Davin's question, I've got to get my screen back. There we go. Oh, darn thing. Hi, Weeping. Yeah. Yeah. So I know that we're going into winter, and you guys are going into this what, your spring. I'm autumn. So I can't read the rest of that darn thing. Can I ask? I have got so hot so easily often. It's a bit of annoying. Okay, so Davin, how old are you, honey? So I'm going to look at again, it doesn't matter how you identify it, but if your body is built on having hormones, male or female, one could be one more dominant than the other. And I'm hearing there is a change in the hormonal field. My question is, are you on new medication or on any medication? I. Um, and the reason I asked is because something is messing with the hormones. And I said, as I look a little bit more, I'm looking at how the liver is seems to be a little congested as far as like, are you insulin resistant? I don't know if you are or not. You're 27. Okay, so that can change a lot. That can change a lot. But again, I'm looking at how your body is not handling the stress. I feel like you have more stress in your life. You may not notice this. No, I'm supposed to be taking iron though. Oh, okay. So understand the chemistry is that if you don't start to balance these out, the liver can't help balance out the blood, and everything works together. Okay. Now I got to get over here and look at something real quick. Uh, Liver has a lot to do with temperature control, and if the liver is congested, um, um, so your doctor is the one that told you that you had to take an iron. Is that correct? Don't just take it because someone told you. Um, but heat, the liver is responsible for certain heat. Do you have sleep disturbances? Do you have skin issues? Are you bloating? The reason I'm asking is because sometimes if you have deficiency in iron, you'll have usually cold hands and feet, but you're saying that you have heat. And on the traditional Chinese medicine, when there's too much heat, then the energy, the chi in the liver is stagnant, so it doesn't go, right? And you're supposed to be taking iron. And so I'm looking at these two, and it's like I would talk to a doctor first, but unless the doctor was the one that told you, yes, I can only get about 2 hours of sleep and some skin issues. Okay. Yes. So the body does temperatures in TCM, and I feel like yours is more of a heat, too much heat. And so one of the things I would start to recommend, and it's not even about emotions, but it's because the body feels you're born that way. No, it's deficiency. Is it about the food you eat intake, or is it about emotions, about processing? Um, it's about relationships. So in the relationship field, your body is saying that it's just there's incompatibility, and the liver is saying that. Um, do people say things to you to get you to do things out of sympathy? And the reason I say that is because in the relationship field, it's the way that relationships about communication. And so, what I'm going to say, well, how would you want her to help to do this? And it says that you don't like to hear disapproval. And have you had disapproval lately? Because by hearing disapproval, it's been affecting the liver, and you feel like there's a lack of power. And the body, because you think it so much, or you felt it so much, or you're in the situation so much, the body's reflecting that. Okay. You think so. So I said, how would you like her to do something? And they said, well, in this case, they want you to do R2D, right wrist, second position, deep, because you have to deprive yourself because you don't want disapproval and people have talked you into doing something out of sympathy. And so you'll need to do this so that you can, so you don't have to feel like you have to deprive in order to have friends. Somehow you are having to be the one that gets deprived. And then you need to go into left wrist, second position, deep, and start looking at how I can't do things without them. And you had in the past, if I remember right, feet issues and things like this, right? And so people had to help you. Yes, I can only, oh, oops, back on it. Wait, just, okay. So you have been trained for a very long time that I can't do something without someone. And so even though now you're doing things without people, the program is still saying that I can't do something without them. Without them, I can't do something. So in that statement, in that way, would be left wrist, second position, deep. So do your best to measure, do your best to hold that position and get that taken care of. Okay? Darn screen. Yeah, and I know I can, but I guess I can feel that. So again, old programs that are not resolved out. You've grown, you know you can, but the root is what we have to heal out, okay? Good talking to you, Davin. Remember, you can always watch it over on YouTube and leave some comments. That's how you can get back. Share the video if you want, and get a thumbs up, like it, and it'll help get back. You're welcome. Okay. Anybody else? We're all good. Just double checking. Yeah, I think it is. Well, thank you very much for being here, and just remember that your emotions will affect your body. You will feel before you think, and those emotions can be resolved. You can work on it with your body and dissolve the chemical peptide. You then can learn how to build your intuition by paying attention with awareness and building your spiritual intuition with understanding of awareness by resolving out the chemical peptide. And your body and you will thank yourself, because then your life starts to get better and better and better. Or I should say healthier. Okay? Resolve to evolve. Heal instead of do. You can heal that. Feel it to heal it. When in doubt, heal it out. And you don't have to believe your own BS. Okay? These are belief systems as well as long as BS. You are already blessed and you're already whole. So I would like you to stay blessed and happy healing until we see you next time in Tribal or in the next show.